Привет, друзья! Как дела? My name is Fedor, and today we have another podcast on our hands. Today we have a dialogue that I will read and then give you guys the translations for. Dialogues are different from regular text because it's simply much more, conversational vocabulary that's being used, and hence it's a bit easier than monologue. It's much easier to make a point with a dialogue versus a monologue. So you guys are going to have a few words that are dialogue based, and that's it. Let's get right into this. I'll be reading the dialogue first fully in Russian with, of course, slower tempo, and then I'm going to read it again with the translations. And this dialogue is about A1 to A2 level. I would say about 70% is A1 level words, and then the rest is A2, B1, and B2. So you should be able to understand this just with your A1 level knowledge. Let's get right into this right now. The dialogue is called «Ссора двух братьев», which means an argument between two brothers. Let's get right into this. Ты не видел мои новые шорты? Я их вчера запачкал и кинул в грязное белье. Ты опять носишь мои вещи? Это мои новые шорты. Мне нечего было надеть, поэтому я их и надел. Купи себе свои шорты и не бери больше мои. Слава, не злись, это всего лишь одежда. Как я могу не злиться? Ты постоянно берешь мои вещи. Это неправда, я только раз их взял. А на прошлой неделе ты не брал мои джинсы? Брал, но ты мне разрешил их взять. Нет, ты их надел, а потом спросил уже. Тебе жалко дать брату свою одежду? Не жалко, но иногда я сам хочу носить ее. Когда я заглядываю в шкаф, там нет моих вещей. Меня это раздражает. Ты тоже мои вещи часто берешь. Я на тебя не ругаюсь. Я один раз у тебя брал футболку. Это было на прошлой неделе. Я потом ее постирал и тебе вернул. Я тоже твои шорты постираю. Мне они сейчас нужны. Я собрался на пляж, а у меня нет шорт. Я не могу в штанах поехать. На улице жарко. Давай тогда я быстро постираю вручную и высушу. Они не успеют высохнуть все равно. Я их на улицу повешу, там солнце. Хорошо, давай, только больше мои вещи не бери без спроса. Договорились. That's it. That's the whole dialogue. It's a bit longer than our typical texts, so I hope that you were able to follow along. Of course, it's a bit harder to do because I have only one voice, and it might have been harder to distinguish between the first brother and another brother who were having an argument. But this dialogue was taken from our 50 Russian Dialogues course that we have on our Be Fluent class platform that you can join with the link in the description to this podcast or on YouTube in the description box right below this video. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, this podcast is on all podcast platforms that you can find it on. And if you guys want the visual, if you're listening right now, go to YouTube and you will see the visual of me talking, and maybe reading my lips is going to make it easier for you guys to understand what I'm saying, because the audio is just your ears, but when you can see a person talk, it might be a little easier to understand what they're saying. So that segue is done. And also, guys, before moving on, before in class where this dialogue was taken from, we have other courses too, exercise, vocabulary building stuff on there that will make you guys fluent in Russian in the quickest way possible. So join our Be Fluent class, like I said, with the link in the description, and I'll be happy to teach you guys on there. This is our, I would say, the main project of all Be Fluent in Russian channel, podcast, all of that. We truly pour our heart and soul into it and try to make it as best as we can make it. Okay, so now let's switch over to Russian and then English. I'll be reading Russian a bit faster, and also, guys, you have the dialogue somewhere in the description as well, or in the first comment on YouTube, so you can read it as well to make it easier. Ты не видел мои новые шорты? Have you seen my new shorts? Я их вчера запачкал и кинул в грязное белье. I got them dirty yesterday and threw them into dirty laundry. I would say грязное белье is the highlight here. Грязное белье means dirty clothes or dirty laundry. Ты опять носишь мои вещи? Это мои новые шорты. Are you wearing my clothes again? These are my new shorts. This is actually something that me and my brother used to fight over when we were young. And I think this is where the inspiration for this dialogue came from. Is because me and my brother are 2 years apart. And we will always get each other's clothes. He would primarily take mine, surprisingly. Мне нечего было надеть, поэтому я их и надел. I had nothing else to wear, that's why I wore them. Купи себе свои шорты и не бери больше мои. Buy your own shorts and don't take mine anymore. Слава, не злись, это всего лишь одежда. Слава, don't be angry, it's just clothing. Как я могу не злиться? Ты постоянно берешь мои вещи. How can I not get angry? You always take my clothes or my stuff. Это неправда. Я только раз их взял. It's not true. I only took it once. I would say the highlight of this sentence would be раз. Раз means one, but it's more of one time. Раз. Один раз, typically we have that phrase, один раз would be one time, but раз also means one time. We don't have to say one time. It's like, I took it a time. Kind of like that, if I were to be literal. But also, раз is used when we count down things. Раз, два, три, let's go. Right? So, раз is going to replace один in Russian when we count. Let's keep going. А на прошлой неделе ты не брал мои джинсы? And last week, you didn't take my jeans? Брал, но ты мне разрешил их взять. I took it, but you allowed me to take it. Нет. Ты их надел, а потом спросил уже. No, you put them on first, and then you asked. Тебе жалко дать брату свою одежду? Now this one is a bit harder. Жалко means, are you greedy too, or are you stingy too? Жалко means like it's a... Now, see, жалко is one of those words that are hard to translate because it's like a phrase, it's like a feeling that you have. So жалко is when you don't want to give something out or give something away. You don't feel like it's needed, or how should I say this? You would regret giving it away. Жалко. Жалко means you pity the thing that you are giving away. Not pity, but more of like you value it so much that you don't want to give it away. And typically жалко is used in this kind of, I guess, negative. If you're asking a question, тебе жалко? Are you stingy to give it? Or are you greedy to give it? Kind of like that. So you don't want to give something out because you feel like you value it so much more. And you don't want to share it with someone. That's like the feeling that it describes. So, тебе жалко дать брату свою одежду means, are you stingy or are you not... I guess you don't feel like it's worthy giving your clothes to a brother. Like, are you stingy to give your clothes to a brother? I'm your brother, I'm your blood. So why are you being stingy like that? It's typically in that negative kind of meaning. Не жалко, но иногда я сам хочу носить ее. I'm not stingy, but sometimes I want to wear it myself. Когда я заглядываю в шкаф, а там нет моих вещей, меня это раздражает. When I look in a wardrobe, and I don't see my clothes there, that irritates me. Ты тоже мои вещи часто берешь. Я на тебя не ругаюсь. You also take my clothes a lot. And I'm not arguing with you, or I'm not telling you off. Now, ругаюсь, if we use the word ругаться, ругаться means to argue, but it also can mean to tell someone off. If it's two people going at it, that's ругаться when they are having an argument. But when I am ругаюсь onto you, I'm telling you off. You know, when it's coming from one person, that means to tell somebody off. But when it's both people going back and forth, it's more like to argue. This is one of those words that have two meanings in English. Я один раз у тебя брал футболку. Это было на прошлой неделе. Я потом ее постирал и тебе вернул. I took your t-shirt once. That was last week. I then washed it and gave it back to you. Я тоже твои шорты постираю. I will also wash your shorts. Мне они сейчас нужны. I need them now. Я собирался на пляж, а у меня нет шорт. I plan to go to the beach and I don't have shorts. Я не могу в штанах поехать. На улице жарко. I cannot go out or I cannot go with my pants on. Because it's hot outside. He wanted to wear shorts and he cannot wear like jeans or pants outside because it's too hot. He's going to be too hot with the pants on. Давай тогда я быстро постираю вручную и высушу. So let me just wash it by hand and then dry it off. Они не успеют высохнуть все равно. They won't have enough time to dry anyway. The highlight here could be все равно. That means anyway or regardless. Я их на улицу повешу, там солнце. I'll hang them outside, the sun is out. This is, I guess, a culture point right here is that, I know that in the States and some other European countries, and sometimes in Russia too, we have dryers. But not every single, I would say maybe like 5% of apartments and houses have dryers. Even less maybe, like 2%. All the rest, we just simply hang them up on like a little, I guess, either we hang them up outside, when there's like maybe on the balcony if you're in an apartment, you hang it up outside. The sun is out, it's fresh air, it's gonna dry off quicker. Or if you're in a house, you might have some contraption of your own that you hang things onto. We have that in Russia. We have that in my apartment right now. It's like a little metal construction. You see a picture on your screen on YouTube. It's like a little metal rods all the way across, maybe like 6 or 7 of them, and then you can hang your clothes on them to let them kind of spread out and let them dry quicker. So we don't have dryers like that in Russia. So if you ever plan to travel to Russia, just be sure that you know how to hang it up and dry it with, just air. Хорошо, давай. Только больше мои вещи не бери без спроса. Okay, let's do it. But don't take my clothes anymore without asking. Договорились. Agreed. That's it. That's all the dialogue entails. Let me know if you understood, how much you've understood of this yourself without the translation. How close were you in understanding before I translated it to you? Before we move on to the vocabulary from this text, I want to give you guys an exercise for the week. The exercise for the week is pretty straightforward. If you don't have a person to speak to, find a person on Tandem app. It's a language exchange app or any other app whatsoever. If you don't have a person that you're speaking with, find that person on Tandem on language exchange apps. But that's not, of course, the exercise. The exercise is record a voice recording to a native. Record yourself speak about a topic of your choice. It can be really anything. It should be about 1 minute to 2 minutes of a simple monologue. Whatever helps you record that monologue, do it. If you want to write it out, if you want to write your thoughts out, the key here is that you won't be reading when you record. You'll be speaking it. You'll be trying to come up with the words, as they come out of your mouth. You're not going to have to read something. When we read things, of course, it's great that you can prepare that text. But I think that speaking, to develop the skill of recalling words on the spot under a stressful condition is a great tool that you can learn, or a great skill that you can acquire. So make sure that you record a voice recording to your language exchange partner or to a native. If you have family or friends, record that voice recording to them and send it off. A better variation could be if you can speak to them face to face. If you have a husband or wife, or your mom is Russian, or your dad is Russian, or your grandfather, whoever, family, friends, whatever it is, speak to them. It's hard. It's not natural. Probably you're used to speaking other languages with them, and that's why you're learning Russian right now. So just simply try to speak with them and use your Russian in speaking. Listening, reading, learning grammar, vocabulary is all great, but you are learning to speak Russian. So make sure that you challenge yourself in speaking for this week, whenever that's going to be. If you can do it each day, that'll be even better. You'll see yourself improve so much, and that nervousness will slowly start to go away as you speak more and more and more. Okay, that's my exercise for you. Either record a voice recording for a native or speak to them in person. If you don't have a partner, find it on language exchange apps. And now let's get on to the vocabulary of this text. Just a few words that we have prepared for you. First is шорты. Шорты is shorts. Pretty straightforward. Кинуть means to throw. He was talking about throwing clothes into dirty laundry. So кинуть would be to throw. Грязное бельё, dirty laundry. We've already mentioned that. Злиться means to get angry. Злиться. Одежда means clothes. Одежда. Постоянно. Постоянно means constantly or for a long period of time. Постоянно. Неправда means not true. Неправда or not truth. Тебе жалко? Like a question. Are you greedy too? The one that we talked about before. It's a bit of a harder translation, but I hope that you got the meaning. Тебе жалко. When somebody doesn't want to give something to you, you can ask them. Тебе жалко? Okay? Тебе жалко? Один раз means once or one time. And then вручную means manually or by hand. That's all that I have for you guys today. Join our Be Fluent class with the link in the description. I'll be seeing you all guys there. This is, like I said, our passion project. This is what we really want to focus on for the rest of our, I hope, lives and make it better with each year, with each month. Okay, I'll see you all there.